lounging, son.
Welcome to the Comic Lounge. We got a special issue today.
Yeah, I'm Ryan.
This is Mario over here. As you can see there, this is my issue.
Yeah.
Signed by Todd McFarlane.
To Mario.
He paused when I asked him to sign it. He asked me if I was sure. Because he's used to people, obviously getting it signed so they can sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I looked at him, I was like, I'm not going to sell this. He was like, all right. And then he had a big smile on his face and signed it.
I know when I get stuff signed and they're like, and I say personalize it, you can tell like they're a little more willing, almost.
Yeah,
not willing necessarily because
they're just a little happier because now they know for sure that you're getting it signed because this is your personal issue that you're going to keep and that you're excited to meet him as opposed to it being a transaction. So yeah, this is Kamikaze or LA Comic Con a few years ago.
Oh, when he was there, yeah, I didn't get to see him that year.
Was really bad because they didn't really plan. For whatever reason they didn't think it would have a long line. So the line was only like they roped up an area, but that was only like maybe 10 feet long, and then ended up wrapping around the area. So he was only supposed to be there for like maybe an hour and a half or something like that, and the line was way too long for that. So he ended up sticking around for an extra like 2 hours.
Oh wow!
I think he's like switched his flight just because he wanted to sign everybody that was there. They capped the line up, but it was huge. So, and then at that point, it was like literally a limit of like one thing.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I wouldn't even need the signature. Like, let me get a picture with you real quick.
Yeah, I got a picture of them, and then I got this sign. So
yeah, all right. Well,
so yeah, this is Amazing Spider-Man 300. Probably the most famous, best known issue that he's worked on from this era. This is where you got the black suit, the Venom suit introduced, as the main Spider-Man stuff. Because you got Secret Wars, which is originally where he got the suit, but this is the first time we see Venom.
Right, it's the first appearance of Venom.
Yeah.
Because he gets rid of the suit in this issue.
Yeah. So, but this cover is
a classic.
It's a classic cover. It's one of the best known covers ever.
It's probably one of the most homaged covers as well. I would say.
Tons of homage covers from a bunch of other series, even indie stuff.
I mean, I think Todd's homaged it himself multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in it with Spawn.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, let's crack this fucker open, man. You guys smell that? Can you smell that through the camera, bro? That's that newsprint, dude. That's that vintage smell.
So you got Mary Jane. So this is leading up from the last issue where a certain person came to visit Mary Jane.
Oh, you mean the first cameo appearance of Venom? in Amazing Spider-Man 299?
Yeah. This is before we did any
I was being sarcastic. You guys couldn't see my face, but I was being sarcastic.
Because this is before we did all of that bullshit.
Yeah, this is the first appearance of Venom. I don't give a fuck about that other...
in like one fucking panel.
Crazy, too. 1988, dude.
Yeah.
We're old. Because I was a year when this came out. Year old.
I was 2 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, already here, I mean, like, I love, like, her boots. And, like, how it overlays, like, there we have, like, you can shove weight even in the boots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think, he did definitely, like, modernized the dress of the way they dressed in the comics, too.
Yeah.
I like, you know what I mean? More so than I would say some of the other artists.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense because like, she's supposed to be a model. So why wouldn't she be dressed well?
Yeah.
And I think he definitely made that effort to have her look like a model and have her dressed well.
I love this, too. Look at that. Look at that. Fucking dripping, dude. He's fucking... The way he lettered shit, too, like... At least in this stuff. Like, he didn't letter this, but this is McFarlane. This has to be him, too, right? Yeah. So David Michelinie, I don't want to ignore that, was the writer of this book. McFarlane,
well, he gets
obviously
forgotten a lot.
I mean, he does. Rick Parker on letters, Bob Sharon colors, Jim Salicrup editor, and editor-in-chief Tom DeFalco. Every time I read this, dude, like, I love this part because, like, you see the fear. Like, that he's even, like, draw stuff right there to, like, show that she's shaking.
Yeah.
And, like, she's terrified because of Venom, and he has no idea. Because at this point, like, he's wearing the black costume, but it's fabric.
Yeah.
It's not the symbiote anymore because he got rid of it because it was fucking
messing with him.
Yeah, it was making him crazy, dude.
And so we talked about Spider-Man #1. So it looks a lot like the same kind of.
I would say this is even better.
Yeah, I mean this looks better.
Right?
But like here, it looks a little bit flat.
I know.
So some of the issues that we talked about on that issue was that his faces aren't always the best. Like what stands out the most is always the poses and the dynamic nature.
I would say it's the close up of the faces are always the best. his faces are.
Yeah.
The smaller they get, looks like somebody punched your face.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
flattened.
I mean, oh, dude, I love his
Yeah,
Eddie.
Brock.
I love his Eddie Brock too.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like a dark version of like Ben Grimm, because he's got kind of that build. He seems like he'd be that type of guy. Oh, dude, the stubble, the fucking, even to the detail of the
all
papers.
Stuff in the back, yeah.
Fuck.
Dude, we should see if New England Comics still are.
Dude, they are.
Are they?
They are. They're still around, dude. They do the Tick comic, dude. You know the Tick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still around, man. I used to call that number to get their catalog in the mail. I must have called fucking like
That's one of my favorite parts
But I
of
was a
those
little
books.
kid. I'd call like multiple times. And I was, if you look at some of my old comics, there's circles. There's circles on the book.
This is one of my favorite things about reading the original issue versus a trade or a hardcover, is that you don't get this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's such a like time capsule.
Yeah.
Of the ads and just things like this.
For me now, though, it's less and less do I care about having the single issues of certain stuff for the time capsule aspect, because now it's not stuff like this. Now it's literally just, you'll get like 6 pages of their comics they're putting out, and it's like, I don't really, to me, it's not as exciting. Maybe going back to early 2000s, it was kind of cool because like they still had like certain ads.
Yeah, well, you still had ads for like Skechers and shit like that in 2003.
Skechers, dude. Yeah.
If you go back and read like Daredevil, Bendis and stuff like that, you'll see Skechers and shit like that. But none of that's really around anymore.
No. Got a little backstory and how I like this.
I love that black suit. Read.
It's crazy how much like even from this issue to Spider-Man 1, like the difference in like the coloring, like you can see how it's like.
It's only a couple of years too.
Yeah, but they still leveled up a little bit.
Yeah.
More. Literally.
So that panel definitely worked.
Yeah, that's a success. I love how, like, especially like if you're new to Spider-Man, right? Like you could have picked this issue up not knowing anything about the black costume. Gives everything to you in this issue.
And it catches you up really fast.
Really fast, dude. Yeah.
His hands are always really.
Like I said, he draws nice legs. No, that's an attractive Mary Jane. You know what
There
though? I think if I'm gonna if I had to pick the Spidey McFarlane draws, it's not the black costume, because you don't get that.
There's a lot
detail.
of lack of detail because of the way they colored back then.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have as many options to be able to do the black the way. Because nowadays you don't really. It's not even black anymore. It's usually like white grays with a little bit of black. This is typically how you see Spider-Man nowadays when you do black.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have the option to do a lot of different coloring.
Right.
And now with this is a lot of blue. So like whenever there's light, it's blue. So yeah, you miss a lot of that detail that you would with all the webbing and the lines.
Mm-hmm.
But it still looks fucking
And this
good.
was pretty early into his run, right? Because he didn't. No, he did like the 3 issues preceding this,
Yeah,
but he wasn't on it.
He started with 296.
Yeah.
So he only did the first 3 issues, and then he got to here, and then after that, it's when he goes up to 25. So yeah, he only been on it for like 3 issues before this.
And this whole issue is like he finds out that she got attacked, had this similar costume symbiote, so now he has the gun, the sonic gun, to go try to defeat Venom, but he still hasn't even come into contact with him yet.
Yeah. Oh, there you go, some more of that.
I love this too. Like how he feels like he's being followed, but you just see changing the his outfits, because the symbiote can create whatever outfit you want.
Yeah.
And a cool note here too is that, like, if you guys don't already know, like, Venom can escape his spider sense.
Yeah.
So like Peter like just feels like someone's following him. It's not like his spider sense is going off, so he feels that way. Like he's
feels like
literally like behind him, and he has no fucking clue. Like normally your spider sense would have gone off, right?
Yeah.
Another fucking dynamic pose. Yeah, I love him showing Spider-Man swinging. Nobody draws it as good as him, for sure. Him swinging, I don't think so. Romita Jr. draws a good Spider-Man, but that's also kind of a little.
There's a lot of good artists.
Yeah. Take some photos for their private collection, dude. Look at that.
Hey man, they're married. Do what they want.
Fucking Peter Parker with his fucking supermodel wife. You know you're reading a comic book when that happens. Nerd getting a supermodel wife.
Yeah.
And he ain't rich. So,
they
she with him.
But they also pretend like he's not attractive. Because after he gets bitten by the spider,
yeah, he's yoked.
He's tall and yoked as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you pointed out. We looked at Spider-Man 1, which was only a couple of years later, and it already looked better than it does here.
Oh yeah. Not even just his art, but like the coloring.
Yeah, that's what I
right?
mean. Like the production of it
Yeah.
is better. This is cool.
Yeah.
You see it coming off his leg and going over and attacking this cop, and then it coming back and going over him again.
I love the way he depicts it because like it feels slimy. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hit or miss for me the way people draw this symbiote costume, but I really like the way that he draws it more so than others. I do like the way Stegman does in the Donny Cates book.
Yeah, well, he's really good. He's
But not every artist that's been on the Venom book has drawn it the way that I like.
Stegman's good. He's
Stegman's
another one
really
of these
good.
guys that's really good at
I mean,
this.
he's a good Spidey artist. Like I would love to see him on an ongoing for sure. His fucking hair.
It was the 80s, dude.
That's always been one of my favorite characters, too, Robbie Thompson. Here we go, dude. This is the battle, dude. This is the fucking battle. The only thing that I don't like is the teeth. It is creepy, right? Because he's got the big smile, but it's a little too Jokerish at that point. Looks a little too much like Joker.
Yeah.
Because of the big smile.
It was
like the sharp teeth.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely proto Venom, though.
Right.
This is before anybody came up with those ideas. Because now he's also
Was
got
it
the tongue.
Was it Eric Larson that did that? I think it might have been.
Yeah, and the tongue came later too.
I think that was also Eric Larson.
If you look over here, he never did the tongue originally.
Right. All he is literally is just a bigger version because Eddie Brock is more yoked, and then you see the fingertips are like almost claw-like, right? And then he has a mouth, whereas Peter didn't have the fucking mouth showing when he was in the costume or with the symbiote. I love this, and then talks about. It tells you why he hates Peter so much, which I think is kind of ironic that we're going through this because the Sin Eater, the article he was writing about Sin Eater, is what's going on in the current Spider-Man comic right now.
Huh.
Sin Eater has come back and he's trying to heal sinners and like from their sins. So like Norman Osborn has now been cured. Essentially, he's not psychotic and he's remorseful for everything he's done. It's interesting. So I think it's kind of funny. I forgot that was in this issue, and I forgot that Venom had a huge thing with this whole article that he wrote in the identity, him being wrong and stuff, and that's why he fucking hates Peter, because Peter proved him wrong. Or Spider-Man. He hates Spider-Man. He learns that he's Peter because of the symbiote. He just wants to fucking kill him, dude.
Yeah, well, that's what ends up happening, is that they both kind of hate and resent Peter. Because the suit, he took off the suit, too.
Right. So the suit
hates him, and then Eddie Brock hates him. So both of them combined turns into Venom.
Mm-hmm. And does he refer to himself as we in here?
I don't remember.
I don't know if he does that yet. God, I love this shit, dude. I mean,
I do like the design. Like, you're right that you can't see as much detail, but I like the design because it's so simple. Just the white of his chest and then his eyes.
Oh yeah, I like it. I'm just saying with this old coloring.
Yeah.
And then for Spider-Man, I like Todd being able to like draw all the little with like the webbing on the costume. You know what I mean? It pretty much takes him fucking down, dude. I love this how he gets him all in the fucking webbing and. And I like what's really cool too is that like because of the symbiote's time with Spider-Man, it has now adopted the spider abilities. Yeah. That's why Venom has it. That's why it knows how to like counter the Spidey sense. Yeah. It has the webbing built in as well. See, like this would be fine, right? Like him smiling like that with the fucking teeth. But I wish that he had the sharper teeth with the costume.
It's also not as big. So nowadays they draw the jaw a lot bigger and have a lot more teeth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love this, and he's gonna fucking
use the bells.
Because Eddie's stupid and he has no idea. Can you imagine if this was like can you imagine the pencils for some of this stuff? Like some of the detail we're losing on the newsprint. Like I can only imagine. Like I'd love to see an artist edition of this. Weird poke, you know what I mean? Yeah. Straddling the thing. I mean,
wrapped around it.
Feats Venom, which is pretty cool. It happened all in one fight. Oh look at the thing back then, dude. When he was getting like mutated, like his eyebrows like looked like a fucking helmet on top.
Yep. And he gets wrapped up in one issue.
And that's where we get
return to regular Spider-Man.
Love that. Legend begins anew. And even there, like we said, like he hadn't really gone full out with the webbing. Like it gets even smaller and more line.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason he changes it too is because she's like, you better get that fucking costume.
Yeah, she gets traumatized by the sight of Venom.
God damn.
And that's it.
What a great issue, dude.
Yeah, and it's quick. You know, it isn't something that dragged on for however long. Nowadays, that would have been dragged on for 5, 6, 10 issues or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. It would have been.
This is all just he appeared last issue and next issue done.
Fuck.
Move on.
I know. Isn't that crazy to think like this would have been the whole arc, and we would have gotten the reveal probably midway through
Yeah.
who Eddie was,
Yeah.
and then this battle would have taken place in at least the last issue.
Yeah. Issue 4 leading into issue 5.
Mm-hmm. Maybe 6.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm glad you brought this over, man, because I had a copy and I sold it, and now it's gone up, so I won't be buying one for quite some time. But it's one of the best Spidey comics for sure. I think it's when people think of Spider-Man key issues, I think this probably might be the one that comes to mind for most people.
Yeah.
Because it's such a striking cover, and it's so.
It's just also right in between, like, it not being too old.
Mhm.
It's modern enough where people still really enjoy that are younger.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, there's stuff from the previous stuff, but it's so old because it's from the 60s or the 70s.
Yeah.
And it's outdated, and this is right where this is butting up against where it goes more into a modern setting.
And again,
The spaghetti.
look at that. And it's even like, he even got so much better at that, too. Like, he really.
Oh, yeah, you look at the cover for issue 1 of Spider-Man, and it looks better. And that's only like 2 years later.
Yeah. So, that was Amazing Spider-Man 300. First appearance of Venom. The great Todd Father. I mean, one of my favorite characters, dude, and one of the best runs I think the character had. I'm glad you brought it. Todd's glad you brought it too, Mario. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure he remembers.
I'm sure he does. But yeah, if you're not already following us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Comic Lounge. Throw your comments or suggestions down below, or email us thecomicloungepod@gmail.com. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on whichever platform you're listening to us on, whether it's YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or iTunes, and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video goes up. And on that note, we're out.